Am I the a-hole for taking my niece to court over a coat? 2 years ago I married a very wealthy man, 34, and because of the pandemic, last Christmas was my first with my in-laws. My mother-in-law gifted me a coat that is worth more than $20,000. I saw her wearing it, asked her where she bought it, and she said that it will be my Christmas gift from her. I didn't know how much it was, I knew it was expensive, but I thought maybe $3,000 at most. I was visiting my sister last January when my niece saw it. She googled the brand and showed me how much it really was. I won't lie, I didn't wear it after that because I was afraid of ruining it. Last week, I wore it while visiting my sister. While I was putting it back on to leave, I felt something go splat on my back, then my niece started cackling and the smell of paint hit me. I was so pissed off while she was not apologetic at all. Her mom screamed at her and said she was grounded. Then she said she will pay for the dry cleaning. While I was in my car, still in shock by the way, I got an alert that my niece posted a reel. It was of her doing a prank on me, and she said I'm going to hit my aunt's $20,000 coat with a paint-filled balloon to see how she reacts. I saved it on my phone, sent it to her mom and told her that a week's grounding is not enough. She did not reply, but I saw that my niece took it down. It got less than 5 views by then. The next day I found out my coat cannot be saved, so I called my sister and told her that her daughter has to pay it back. Well, we got into an argument and she said that they will not be paying it, and if I wanted a new one, I should get my husband to buy it for me. I think that they should pay for it, they can afford to. In my opinion they should sell my niece's car and pay me back my money. We did not reach an agreement, so I told her that I will be suing, and reminded her that I have video evidence that her daughter A. did it on purpose for online clout and B. knew exactly how expensive it was. People in my life are not objective at all. I have some calling me an some saying they are the Oz for not buying me a new one, and some so obsessed with the price of the coat that they are calling me an for simply owning it and wanting a new one. Am I the a-hole for taking my niece to court over a coat? When my husband got home, I told him what happened and showed him the video. He asked if I spoke with my brother-in-law and I said no, all my conversations were with my sister. He said that he will take care of it. Now, a disclaimer, I understand nothing when it comes to insurance claims, and this is what my husband told me / I understood happened. My husband talked with my brother-in-law, told him exactly what happened and showed him the prank video. Then he told him that the coat was insured, we will be filing a claim and submitting the video, and we might have to file charges for the claim. He assured him that we would be dropping the charges, we do not want to send niece to jail. Then he told him that one of two things might happen. After our insurance pays us, they will come after them. If their insurance pays, their premium will skyrocket. If it doesn't, they might sue them, and might get a lien on their house. My brother-in-law asked if there was a way he could pay us without involving insurance. My husband told him that that was what we wanted at first, but that my sister insisted that they will not be paying us back. Apparently, my brother-in-law was not in the know, and he was very pissed off at what my niece did, and my sister's response. So they came to this solution: my niece's car will be sold, and if it doesn't fetch the whole compensation money, she will have to get a job and pay me the whole check until it is paid off. Also she is grounded for the rest of the school year. Am I the a-hole for setting boundaries with my stepson? I have a stepson who's 16 who for the purposes of this post, we'll call T. I've been married to my wife, I'm also a woman, for 2 years and have 2 daughters, 7 and 9, with my ex. Since the day T moved into my house he has been nothing but disrespectful. I understand that change, especially change this drastic, moving, getting new siblings / a new parent, is hard for a kid, but some of the stuff he does just crosses a line. For example, I transferred him to a really great private high school when he moved in because I wanted him to have the best opportunities. He always complains that he doesn't like his new classmates, that the school is too far away, it's 15 minutes further than his old school, which is practically nothing, and that he doesn't like the environment. He doesn't understand that later he will thank me for this. I would have killed for an opportunity like this at his age. Additionally, he always breaks rules we have set in place. I have asked him to surrender his phone to the living room at 9 p.m. to have some family time, but he says he wants to talk to his old friends. He constantly claims not to like the food his mother or I make even when he hasn't tried it. His mother and I try to have a date night once or twice a week and he always claims he is too busy to watch his stepsisters. We have asked him repeatedly for the passwords to his social media accounts and he refuses to hand them over. Etc. I'm sick of the disrespect in my own house, so I set some boundaries. Either he starts treating me with respect and listening to me, or he can find somewhere else to live. Obviously I wouldn't really kick him out, but I'm hoping this scares some sense into him. My wife, however, said I took it too far and need to apologize and tell him I wasn't serious. I feel like this will undermine my authority though. Am I the a-hole? Edit, I just want to clarify a few things because they seem to be causing confusion in the comments. He did not change schools when he was 16. We had him change when he was 14, when he moved into my house, so about halfway through his first year of high school. Also, he did know about the change, we talked to him about it beforehand. He wasn't excited but he did know that he would be changing schools. Note, this mini update is not dated. Update, thank you for everyone who has taken the time to comment, and thank you further to the people who have offered helpful advice. I didn't come here to be vindicated, I came to find out if I was doing everything I could for my stepson and clearly I am not. I am going to try to fix what I have done wrong. I'll offer him the option to switch back schools, although I understand that it might be too late, and I will drastically ease up on the restrictions that we have been set in place. Furthermore, I am going to sit down and apologize. I want him to know he is cared for and that I was wrong. Am I the a-hole for setting boundaries with my stepson? On to the update. After reading the comments telling me how horrible of a stepfather I was, I felt sick. This may seem unbelievable, but I was genuinely trying to do right by him, and I was beside myself realizing that I did more harm than good. My stepson never knew his father, and I jumped at the chance to have that special father/son bond with him. I eased up on many of the restrictions I placed. He no longer has to surrender his phone, and while we still do have family time, it's about once a week instead of every night. He no longer has a bedtime, and while his mom follows him on his socials, I do not. I no longer demand his passwords to anything. The only time I have asked him to babysit is in the case of an emergency, but surprisingly, now that I've stopped, he's been offering to babysit every once in a while. As for the school issue, he is still at the school we switched him to. We had many long talks about this very issue, and he ultimately decided to finish out his high school career at the school because, while he missed his friends, he was able to recognize that this new school offered him the best opportunity to get into the college he really wants to attend. Since all of this, the relationship between my stepson and myself has drastically improved. For his 17th birthday, we offered to get him a car, and he and I had a really nice time picking out the right one. I've taken him to a few basketball games which he loves, and I've enjoyed learning about the sport from him. He actually got a girlfriend and came to me for advice about dating, which is not something that would have happened before. I will say this, I am blessed with an incredibly smart, kind and compassionate stepson. Other kids may not have been so forgiving, and rightfully so. I urge other step-parents out there to really listen to their stepchildren instead of automatically trying to take over. You may not be as lucky as I was. Roommate won't be considerate about noise. So I keep disconnecting the Wi-Fi. My roommate has always had bad habits, not cleaning up her messes, over a dozen dishes in her side of sink at any given time, sweeps dirt from her room into common areas and not use the dustpan to scoop it up and throw in the trash, never announces guests, so I've encountered random men in the living room alone, late on bills, etc. However, lately she's taken to suddenly play her loud screechy, traditional Indian music. I mean, I'll come home from an early morning 8-hour shift at 10 a.m. 1 p.m., meaning I work any time between 2:30 a.m. 4:30 a.m., often, and every time within 10 minutes of my arrival, she'll start playing her bad music so loud, I can hear it beyond my noise-canceling headphones and my own music trying to drown it out. She'll also play her TV shows so loudly, it'll rumble the walls. She did this most days till 2 a.m., no matter how many times I've told her to at least turn it down, or that I have to sleep or I would like to nap after a graveyard shift. She'll turn it down for an hour or two, then turn it all the way back up. Well, I finally got fed up and tried looking up ways to be petty. Wi-Fi scramblers are illegal, but I wanted to make sure she couldn't hear electronics when I needed to sleep. Finally, I realized, I can control the Wi-Fi from my provider app. Roommate works from home on her comp and needs the Wi-Fi. I have a personal hotspot. Oh, I let the fun begin. So about a week ago, I decided to connect my TV to my mobile hotspot so that I could listen to my music or watch my shows, as she started blasting her music again almost as soon as I got home. I'm convinced she does it on purpose, by the way. I open the app, restart the Wi-Fi, and her music stutters and halts. The sudden silence was glorious. I turn on my music and she texts if my Wi-Fi is disconnected. I act like nothing's wrong and text her no, or else my music would stop since it's my TV on the Wi-Fi. She's texts back, oh. Okay. I simply laughed to myself. I repeated this for about 30 minutes before she got fed up with the spotty Wi-Fi and left the apartment. I've been doing this now for the past week whenever I hear her start her music or shows, when I think about it while at work or getting groceries, and it's been hilarious. She says it impedes her work, but again, I act like nothing's wrong because finally I get silence and can actually sleep whenever I need to. She can go to a Starbucks or library if she needs Wi-Fi that bad, I don't care anymore. I'll even restart the modem a dozen times right before bed so that she gets fed up and doesn't try to blast her stuff at 2 a.m. This makes it worth it to deal with all her other bad habits because knowing she's angry makes me happy. Should have listened to me and been considerate.